All right, ready to dive in. Today, it's product strategy and management.
A topic I'm sure you're all ready to explore.
We've got product strategy and management second edit with us.
This book?
Oh, it is packed.
It is packed
With insights.
with insights.
You know, we are on a mission to uncover what makes a product truly successful, especially in such a dynamic market like we have today.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating is this book starts with such a deceptively simple question. What is a product?
Yeah, it's like we all think we know.
We all think we know.
But I can already tell these authors are going to take us down some interesting paths.
Exactly. They push us to really see these products not just as these physical objects, but solutions to customer needs.
It's so crucial to shift the perspective.
A drill isn't just about the motor and the bits. It's about making that whole, to hang that picture, to assemble the furniture.
It's about the outcome the customer is looking for.
Exactly.
But the book takes it even further, right? There's this whole idea of objective versus subjective demand.
Right. And this is really where branding comes into play.
Yeah.
A product, it may objectively solve a problem, but
yeah.
if the branding doesn't resonate with the target audience, if it doesn't evoke the right emotions, if it doesn't communicate the value effectively,
Oh, yeah.
that demand simply won't be there.
It's got to be perceived as good, too.
Yeah.
Not just, actually solve the problem.
Exactly.
And that's where I guess the marketing comes in.
Yeah.
Now, the book also introduces this concept of the product lifecycle, the PLC.
Yeah.
Something I think a lot of people are familiar with on a basic level.
Yeah, I think we've all heard of it.
But these authors really break it down in detail.
They do a really good job, and I think the analogy they make to a biological life cycle is just so helpful.
Oh, interesting.
Just like any living organism, a product goes through these very distinct stages of growth and then eventually decline.
Yeah.
But understanding these stages
Mm.
can really help companies sort of anticipate challenges.
Yeah.
And really seize those opportunities
Mm.
at each point in the journey.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Can you give me a real-world example of a product that maybe didn't quite grasp the importance of the PLC?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The book talks about TI Superform, which was this really revolutionary new material.
Okay.
It had all sorts of amazing properties, lighter, stronger, more durable than anything on the market.
Wow.
Objectively, fantastic product.
Right.
But the company initially, they targeted the high-end sporting goods market, thinking that's where they would find the most eager customers.
That makes sense to me.
Right? You would think.
If you're really into sports, you're usually willing to pay a premium
Exactly.
for the latest and greatest gear.
Right. You would think they're early adopters.
So what went wrong?
Well, they missed this really critical element. The book calls it precipitating circumstances.
Okay.
What that means is really understanding what makes a customer feel this urgent need to adopt a new product.
What I say?
So high-end athletes, while they may appreciate innovation,
Yeah.
they weren't really facing any major problems
Okay.
that TI Superform uniquely solved.
So even though the product was better, there wasn't this
Yeah.
sense of urgency.
Exactly.
Okay.
It turned out the real opportunity for TI Superform
Yeah.
was in markets where this need for these lighter, stronger materials was more pressing,
Oh, interesting.
even if those customers were initially more resistant to change.
Okay, so who were they targeting then?
So, for example, they found a lot of success in the aerospace industry,
Yeah.
where even these small weight reductions can lead to significant fuel savings.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's really about understanding not just that you have a good product,
Right.
but the context of the market and the need of the customer at that moment.
Exactly. Finding the right customer at the right time.
So we've talked about what a product is, the importance of understanding the customer's needs, and now this whole cyclical nature of the market.
Yeah.
But let's get down to it.
Okay.
What makes a new product successful?
Okay.
I mean, it's more than just a great idea, right?
You are absolutely right. And the book really dives deep into this, presenting this multi-factor model that examines everything from, environmental and strategic factors to marketing, organizational, even managerial influences.
Whoa, that's a lot to unpack there. Where do we even begin?
Well, one of the most important takeaways for me is this emphasis on what they call the fuzzy front end.
Okay, the fuzzy front end. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
So think of it as like the very beginning of the product development process.
Yeah.
That messy, creative, often chaotic
Yeah.
stage where ideas are born, explored, refined.
Hmm.
The authors stress that this phase is so crucial
Okay.
for weeding out weak ideas,
Yeah.
identifying those potential pitfalls,
Hmm.
and really setting the stage for success.
So you're saying don't rush through the brainstorming.
Exactly.
The market research, take your time,
Don't rush it.
really nail this part down.
The book actually says failing to invest sufficient time and resources into the fuzzy front end, it's one of the biggest mistakes that companies make.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like building a house on a shaky foundation.
Exactly.
No matter how beautiful the house is, it's eventually going to crumble.
Yeah.
So investing in that solid foundation, that fuzzy front end, is key.
Precisely.
And then the book kind of goes from there.
It does.
The other factors that influence success.
Right.
So pick one. What really stood out to you?
Something that really resonated with me was their emphasis on understanding customer needs and preferences on this like deep level.
Okay.
It's about going beyond, superficial market research and really digging into the why.
So like I said, it's not about the product, it's about the person.
It is. It's about the people.
Using it, their needs.
Or motivations.
Their desires, exactly.
Yeah.
It's about understanding those needs.
Yeah, okay.
On a deep level, digging into that why.
Okay.
And this is where the book really emphasizes
the importance of having like a holistic approach where different departments are collaborating throughout this whole process.
So not just marketing, you're talking about like R&D, production,
Yes, exactly.
working together.
Working together.
Which I imagine is easier said than done.
It can be. But the book, I think, offers some really insightful guidance
Okay.
on how to foster that collaborative spirit.
Right, so it's about the right people
Yeah.
and the right culture.
Exactly. And then one of the key elements of that culture is this willingness to embrace external input.
Oh, interesting. So you're talking about like feedback from customers.
Yes, feedback from customers and other stakeholders outside the company.
Okay.
So the book argues that companies need to be open to feedback, both positive and negative, and use it to refine their product strategy.
Correct.
They even tell this really compelling story about the launch of the JCB 110, which was this, revolutionary backhoe loader.
I love a good story.
It's a good one. So, the JCB 110 was this groundbreaking product.
Yeah.
But during the initial launch, they encountered these unexpected design hiccups.
Oh, okay.
Now, the company could have easily dismissed this feedback,
Well, yeah.
attributed it to, user error,
Yeah.
teething problems.
Sure.
But instead, they listened carefully to their customers,
Go.
made these like key design modifications.
Okay.
And the JCB 110 went on to become this massive success.
It's amazing how agility can be such an asset
Yeah,
in a dynamic market.
absolutely.
It's not always about getting it right the first time,
Right.
but being willing to adapt,
And learn along the way.
learn along the way.
Exactly.
That ties back into what we were talking about with the product life cycle.
It does.
It changes as it goes through the cycle.
And different stages of the product life cycle really do require different approaches and mindsets. So during those early stages, it's all about flexibility, responsiveness, whereas during those later stages, the focus might shift toward optimization
Okay.
and efficiency.
Now, there's another point in the book that I thought was interesting.
Okay.
It's this whole idea of perception and interpretation in product adoption.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about the objective benefits.
It's such an important point.
Right.
The book really challenges that assumption that if a product is objectively good, it will automatically succeed.
Right.
It really highlights how a product's success is so deeply intertwined with how customers perceive it, the stories they tell themselves about it,
Oh, interesting.
and whether it aligns with their existing beliefs and values.
It's fascinating how psychology
Yeah.
really influences the world of products.
So much.
It's not just about the nuts and bolts.
It's not.
It's about understanding people.
It's about the people.
And I think that's what makes it so interesting, this whole field.
Yeah, it really does.
So endlessly fascinating.
Endlessly fascinating. Welcome back to our deep dive into product strategy and management. In the last part, we talked about the importance of understanding the product life cycle and how customer perception can really make or break a product's success.
Yeah, we saw how even a product with amazing objective benefits like TI Superform can struggle if it's not targeted at the right market segment, those with pressing needs and what the book calls those precipitating circumstances.
Yeah, that's so important.
It really got me thinking.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk what happens when a product does find its footing in the market.
Okay.
Managing growth effectively. I feel like that's another key piece
It is.
of the puzzle.
It is.
So let's say a company has launched this new product and it's starting to gain some traction.
Yeah.
Sales are climbing, things are looking good.
Yeah, okay.
What should they be focusing on at this stage?
Well, this is where things can get really exciting,
Yeah.
but also really challenging. The book emphasizes that companies really need to be prepared to adapt and evolve their product strategy as that market landscape changes. So what might have worked in the early stages
Yeah.
might not be sustainable as the product matures and that competitive landscape, intensifies.
It's like that whole running a sprint versus running a marathon.
Exactly.
You need a different approach if you want to win
100%. Yeah.
in the long run.
And one key aspect of this is really understanding how customer needs and preferences might shift as a product, becomes more mainstream.
Oh, interesting.
So what might have been like a unique selling point
Okay.
in those early stages when you were appealing to those early adopters
Yeah.
might become just a standard expectation
Okay.
as that market matures and you have more competitors entering the scene.
So you're saying you got to be innovating
Yeah,
constantly to stay ahead
that is the core principle.
of successful product management.
Yes, yes.
The book also talks about managing the product portfolio. And I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what that means.
Okay, yeah.
Can you break that down for me?
Imagine, a gardener tending to their plants.
Okay.
They need to nurture those promising new shoots, those innovative products with that high growth potential, while also ensuring that the mature plants, the established products that form the backbone of your business,
Right.
continue to flourish.
Okay.
So a company's product portfolio
Yep.
should be balanced, with a mix of products at different stages of the life cycle.
So you wouldn't want to have all of your products
No,
be in the decline phase at the same time.
that would be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I can imagine.
A healthy product portfolio really helps to mitigate risk
Okay.
and ensures like a steady stream of revenue.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the book actually uses the example of, companies like Apple and Sony to illustrate this, the importance of that continuous new product development.
Oh, okay.
So they're constantly releasing these new and improved products, keeping their customers engaged, and ensuring they have like a pipeline of future growth opportunities.
But even giants like Apple and Sony, they've stumbled from time to time, right?
They
I
have.
remember there was a cautionary tale
Yes.
in the book about EMI and their body scanner.
Yes, and that's a great example.
Really drove home the point that even with a revolutionary product, things can go wrong.
100%.
So they had this revolutionary product.
They did.
But what went wrong?
Well, they made some critical mistakes.
Okay.
They overestimated the strength of their patents, so they assumed that their technological lead would protect them from competition.
Okay, so they got a little complacent.
Yeah, they kind of rested on their laurels.
Okay.
And they also really neglected the importance of building those strong relationships with customers, understanding the evolving needs of the medical community.
So they took their eye off the ball.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah.
They failed to adapt their product strategy
Okay.
as that market landscape shifted.
Hmm.
And they paid the price.
Yeah, they did.
It's a stark reminder that no company, no matter how innovative,
Yeah.
is immune to those forces of competition.
It's humbling, but also a valuable lesson.
Very valuable.
It seems like to stay ahead, you need to constantly be vigilant,
You do.
adaptable,
Yeah.
and embrace change.
100%.
What happens, though, when a product
Yeah.
inevitably enters the maturity phase?
Right.
It's all downhill from there.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You're picking up on a key point.
Okay.
The maturity phase doesn't have to be the beginning of the end.
Okay.
The book really challenges this traditional view of the product life cycle as this straight line from growth to decline.
Okay.
It argues that with the right approach,
Okay.
companies can extend the life of their products
Right.
and continue to generate value, even in those mature markets.
It's like getting every last drop of juice
Yeah.
from the lemon.
I love that. I love that analogy.
Yeah, you got to get creative.
Yeah, you do.
You do that.
You do. And the book dives into these various strategies for
Wow.
managing these mature products. And it emphasizes the importance of finding those new ways to differentiate,
Okay.
building those strong customer relationships, and optimizing those pricing strategies
Okay.
to maintain that profitability.
So it's about making sure that your product stays relevant,
Yes.
appealing,
Yes.
even when that initial excitement has maybe faded.
Right, because you're going to have newer, flashier competitors on the market.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You've got to keep up.
And it's really about understanding that customer needs and priorities, they may change over time,
Hmm.
and adapting the product strategy accordingly.
Okay,
And the book introduces this concept of relationship marketing,
okay.
which emphasizes the importance of cultivating these long-term customer relationships.
So it's not just a transaction.
It's
An
not.
ongoing relationship
It's about building that connection.
with the customer.
Exactly.
Make them feel valued.
Make them feel valued.
Understood.
Understood. Yeah.
Understood.
It's at the
not-
heart of it.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that a satisfied customer is more likely to be a repeat customer,
Right.
an advocate for your brand.
Yeah.
And nurturing those relationships can really lead to this sustained success,
Yeah.
even in those mature markets.
So even in the maturity phase, there's still room for growth and innovation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It might require a shift in perspective,
Mm.
a willingness to adapt.
Yeah.
But the book provides all these compelling examples
too.
of companies that have successfully revitalized these mature products and extended those life cycles.
This has been so insightful.
Yeah.
I'm seeing product development in a whole new light.
Yeah.
But let's be honest,
Okay.
not all products can be saved. At some point, a company might have to make that tough decision to let go.
They might. And the book doesn't shy away from this really challenging topic of product elimination.
Okay, product deletion. When is it time to pull the plug?
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer.
Okay.
But the book provides a really good framework for approaching this very sensitive decision,
Okay.
emphasizing the need for a very systematic,
Yeah.
objective evaluation process.
For you're not making decisions based on emotion.
You are not. It should be based on data, assessing those market trends,
Okay.
weighing those costs and benefits of continuing versus discontinuing.
So to some extent, it is a numbers game.
To some extent, yes.
Okay.
But it's also about understanding, those broader strategic implications.
Okay.
So a company needs to consider the impact on their brand image,
Yeah.
customer relationships, overall product portfolio.
Right. So many factors to consider. I
Yeah.
remember the book also talking about the psychological aspect of this.
Yeah.
That a lot of times managers become emotionally attached to their products.
They do, and it makes it so difficult to let go.
It's their baby.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
They've nurtured it,
Nurtured it from the beginning.
and it's hard to say goodbye.
Yeah, and it's understandable, but the book really stresses
Yeah.
that clinging to these failing products can really drain resources
Mm-hmm.
and hinder a company's ability to invest in those more promising opportunities.
Okay.
It's about making those really tough choices and prioritizing long-term sustainability
Right.
over short-term sentimentality.
It's like pruning a rose bush.
Exactly.
Got to cut away the dead branches.
To let those healthy ones thrive.
Exactly.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And the book provides some practical guidance on how to manage this product elimination process.
Okay.
Communicating the decision to customers and stakeholders,
Oh.
minimizing that disruption to the business.
It's a tough but necessary part.
It is
Product management.
It really is.
I feel like this whole conversation has given me a much deeper appreciation for this whole world
Yeah.
of product strategy and management.
It is so complex. There's so much to consider.
It's not just about coming up with a great idea.
It's not.
It's about understanding the entire life cycle
Yeah.
of the product,
Yeah.
from its birth to its, retirement.
To its retirement.
And that brings us to a really important point,
Okay.
the importance of understanding buyer behavior.
Yes. So important.
Because, this book doesn't just talk about products in isolation.
No, it doesn't.
It really focuses on the customer perspective.
Exactly. And it really brings us back to that idea that a product's success really hinges
Yeah.
on how those customers perceive it, how it integrates into their lives,
Yeah.
and whether it really solves their problems.
It's like that famous saying, people don't buy drills, they buy holes.
100%.
Right.
Yeah,
The book really gets into all these factors
it
that
does.
influence buyer behavior.
Yeah, individual preferences, social influences, economic considerations,
Yeah.
even those emotional connections that people form with products.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
How psychology and sociology, economics,
Yeah.
all come into play here.
It all comes together.
It really does. It's like a tapestry.
Yeah.
And to create products that really resonate, companies really have to understand this.
100%.
Now, the book also talks about market research.
It does.
And it's not just for the beginning of product development.
No, it's an ongoing process.
It's got to be continuous
It does. It really does.
throughout the entire life cycle.
Because remember, customer needs and preferences can evolve.
Yeah, that's true.
And companies need to stay attuned
Yeah.
to those changes.
The book also kind of challenges this traditional view
It does.
of market segmentation.
Yeah.
You're not just looking at the size of the market, but
Right.
the strength of those precipitating circumstances.
Exactly.
Love that term.
Yeah.
Identifying those customers who have that pressing need for the product,
Yes.
even if they're initially resistant to change.
Yeah. Right. Those early adopters.
Yeah.
They're so valuable.
They are.
Because they're the ones willing to take that risk
Yeah.
on something new.
Yeah.
Because they have that genuine need for it.
Right. They're the ones who spread the word.
They're like the trendsetters.
Yeah, and it creates that ripple effect
Think they're all
in the larger audience.
It's a chain reaction.
Yeah, it really is.
And the book, provides so many real-world examples
Okay.
of companies that have successfully identified,
Yeah.
targeted these early adopter segments.
Okay.
And that's really helped them to propel the success of their product.
It's inspiring to see how all these companies have navigated this.
It is.
It's a complex market,
Yeah.
and they've found success.
They found what works.
But I'm also curious about what the book has to say about the future
Yeah, what's coming next?
of product strategy and management.
Right.
The world is constantly changing.
It is.
I imagine the challenges and opportunities
Are constantly shifting as well.
Oh, 100%. And the book acknowledges this. It talks about,
Okay.
the pace of technological innovation
Right.
accelerating. Those product life cycles are getting shorter.
Right.
It highlights this increasing importance of agility,
Mm.
adaptability, and data-driven approaches
Okay.
to decision-making.
So you've got to be fast. You've got to be smart.
You got to be on your toes.
Yeah, got to be on your toes.
You got to be ready to pivot.
You really do.
You really do.
Okay, so what else? What does the book say about the future?
Well, it predicts
Okay.
that those lines between products and services, they're going to continue to blur,
Mm-hmm.
and companies are going to need to find those ways
Okay.
to create those integrated offerings
Okay.
that provide that seamless customer experience.
So give me an example.
Okay, think of a company like Tesla.
Okay.
They're not just selling cars.
Yeah.
They're selling this whole ecosystem
Okay.
that includes charging stations, software updates, even insurance.
Oh, it's a holistic approach.
Yeah, it really is.
That goes beyond that traditional product-centric mindset.
It's not just selling a thing.
No.
You're selling an experience.
Yeah, whole experience.
And I could see how that's really appealing
It is. It is.
to the customer.
And it's something that more and more companies are starting to embrace.
They're taking note.
They are. And the book argues
Yeah.
that this shift towards those integrated offerings, it's really driven
Mhm.
by changing customer expectations.
Look.
People are no longer satisfied with simply buying a product.
Mhm.
They want a solution
Right.
that meets their needs in this very comprehensive and convenient way.
So it's about the entire customer journey. But
Exactly.
from the moment they first become aware of the product,
Yeah.
all the way through the
The
support,
only support.
the service,
The service.
after the purchase.
100%. It's about thinking holistically
Okay.
and really understanding those customer needs
Yeah.
at every single touch point.
This deep dive has been eye-opening.
It has.
I mean, we've talked about the product life cycle, understanding customer needs, those precipitating circumstances,
Yeah.
the challenges of managing growth, the art of product deletion,
It's a lot to think about.
and the future of product strategy and management.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
We've covered a lot of ground.
A lot of ground.
But one thing that's been made clear to me
Yeah.
is just how important it is to be adaptable,
It has to be.
innovative,
Yeah.
customer-centric.
It's all about the customer.
In this world,
Yeah.
the world of products is always changing,
Yes. Yeah.
And the companies that are thriving
Yeah.
are the ones who are willing to change,
100%.
to adapt,
Yeah.
challenge the status quo.
That's how you stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, you really do.
You do.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We've really been on quite a journey exploring the world of product strategy and management.
We have. From that fuzzy front end of product development to, that whole delicate dance of managing a product portfolio.
And one thing that has become so clear to me is that this field is anything but static.
Oh, no.
It is dynamic, it's complex, and it just demands a willingness to adapt, to evolve, and to really embrace those new ideas.
Absolutely. And the book really doesn't shy away from that. It
Yeah.
really acknowledges that rapid pace of change in today's world. And, technology is always evolving.
Right.
And customer expectations, oh, they're shifting faster than ever before.
So where do we go from here? What does the future hold for product strategy and management?
Well, the book offers some really intriguing predictions.
Okay.
For one, it highlights this increasing importance of data-driven decision-making.
Okay.
So, in the past, product managers often relied on intuition and experience to guide their choices.
Yeah.
But in today's data-rich environment, there's this growing expectation that decisions will be backed by solid data analysis.
I mean, with all this information
Yeah.
available, why not use it?
Exactly. Why not use it?
But how do you even sift through all that data
Right. It's a lot.
and extract those meaningful insights?
It's a skill. It's definitely a skill that these product managers are going to need to develop.
Yeah.
The book talks about this rise of product analytics as this specialized field
Yep.
where professionals are trained to collect, analyze, and interpret that data to really inform that product strategy.
So it's like the role of the product manager is becoming even more multifaceted.
Oh, it is.
I mean, they have to be these creative thinkers,
Yeah.
strategic planners, and now data analysts.
Data analysts, it's a lot,
It really is.
but it's exciting.
It is exciting.
And it's a very exciting field.
The book also predicts that the lines between products and services will continue to blur.
Yes.
Can you give me an example? What would that look like in practice?
Think of a company like Tesla.
Okay.
I mean, they're not just selling cars.
Yeah.
They're selling this whole ecosystem. That includes charging stations, software updates, even insurance.
Right.
So it's that holistic approach
Yeah.
that goes beyond that traditional product-centric mindset.
You're not just selling a thing.
Right.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
And that is appealing.
It is very appealing. And it's something we see more and more companies embracing.
Yeah.
And the book argues that this shift towards these integrated offerings, it's driven by these changing customer expectations.
Okay. Yeah.
People aren't satisfied with just buying a product anymore. They want a solution
They want it all.
that meets their needs
Yeah.
in a very comprehensive and convenient way.
So it's really about the entire customer journey.
Exactly.
From the moment they first become aware of the product
Yes.
to, the ongoing support, the service.
The service after the purchase, 100%.
Wow.
It's about thinking holistically.
This deep dive has been truly eye-opening.
It has been.
I mean, we've explored the product life cycle,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of understanding customer needs, the power of those precipitating circumstances,
Yeah, that's so important.
the challenges of managing growth, the art of product deletion,
The art of it.
and now the future of product strategy and management.
That's a lot.
And I've learned so much.
Me too.
It's just so important to be adaptable, innovative, and customer-centric in this world.
100%. Those are the keys to success.
It's so inspiring
Yeah.
to think about the possibilities that lie ahead.
It is. It's an exciting time to be in this field.
And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm left with this sense of excitement
Yeah.
and a renewed appreciation for the power of these great products
It is
to
amazing.
shape our world.
It really is.
So as we reach the end of our journey,
Yeah.
what final thoughts do you want to leave our listeners with?
Well, remember that successful product management, it's a continuous journey of learning, adapting, and innovating. So keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and keep pushing those boundaries.
Because the future of products
Yes.
is in your hands.
It really is. Until next time.
Keep diving deep.